Hey guys, out here at 19019 Kimber Creek Lane here in Cypress, Texas. It's a deal that I'm doing a novation on. And the movers are here to start to get the property cleared out. And yes, it's a novation because wholesale does not work. And guys, not every single deal or wholesale number is going to work. And that's why it's very important to have multiple strategies in your toolbox so that you can tailor a strategy to the seller's situation. Now, in this situation, the seller has gone through a divorce or legally separated, and he was living in his 4,000 square foot house. It's pretty big. He's separated now and no longer wants to be here. And so he's not in any form of distress because the property was built just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. And so the property doesn't need a tremendous amount of work, and he bought the property cash. So there's a lot of equity there. And he comes and tells me, hey, look, I understand that, I've had kids and I've had dogs that have, paint that have worn down the property as far as like, the walls have so much stain on them and the dog eating up on the staircase and stuff like that. You could see several areas where the walls have been, kind of damaged. And so he understands that, yeah, typically you want to come in and put some cosmetic rehab to the property. And he doesn't have the time to do that. Like he travels fairly often and doesn't want to have to manage a contractor crew to come in and do the cosmetic work that needs to be done, nor showings and things of that nature. So he said, hey, look, I just want a particular number, and I'm okay if I get convenience. If I get the convenience of a sale and I'm guaranteed this number, I'm good to go. So I come up to the property and talk to him, and he tells me, his number is 615. He's been offered 600. He's traveling to the next day, and he wants 615 for the property. And I tell him, okay, I just know that from before I came, I did some numbers. I just knew that, wholesale wasn't going to work because the property is so brand new. 615 is over 70% ARV, but it could still be a deal if I structure it right. So I told him, hey, if I give you that number that you're looking for, but instead of me buying out the property outright, we become partners. I come in and do the work as far as like clear out the property, bring in my crew and resources to renovate the property, do the cosmetic work, and we take it to retail. And so after retail, we market it, stage the property, do all the 9 yards. And then when we do get a retail buyer, you ultimately get your 615, and I make the difference, everything over 615. So we wind up, agreeing to that. And again, I'm not taking ownership of this property. I just have a power of attorney, a net proceeds agreement on the novation deal, and a memorandum. Basically, I went and recorded a memo on the property just so that I'm protected, right? And that's how I'm going to ultimately get paid on the back end with the HUD. And so now the movers are here, like you're just saying, and clearing out the property. Work is going to start tomorrow with the contractor crew is going to paint the whole property. Not a lot is needed, but when you're selling a property this high end, you got to pay attention to the details. So we wind up getting an inspection done on the property, an inspection done and an appraisal done. The appraisal came back at 835, guys, 835,000. We're probably going to put in about $25,000 into the cosmetic renovation. Again, it's cosmetic, but because it's a 4,000 square foot house, it's so big that, the price really goes up. And you can see stuff I'm talking about, like here. This is the dog eating up on, staircase and damaging the property. And you can see kids just being kids. Yeah, so the appraisal came back at 835, and we're going to come in, clean out the whole property. You can see it's an issue with having dogs. Dog poop on the carpet. So we're going to steam clean the entire property to make the carpet, look like new. and we're gonna list it on the market, take it to retail, list it for $7.99 and see what sticks. Even if we list it at $7.99, do the renovation, we're probably going to be netting over $100,000. There's at least a $200,000 spread, so it's a risk worth taking, and it's a neighborhood that has a lower days on the market, which means that the properties that do list go pretty quick. So all these factors, are in our favor, and we're going to make over 6 figures on a deal that if we only had wholesale in our arsenal, we wouldn't have made the deal work. So, and that's how we outweigh all the competition, because they were giving him lowball offers, and we were able to come in and just asking, give him speed and convenience, as well as make a big payday for us. So guys, lesson is learn all the strategies and understand how to match those strategies to seller pain points.